Eliza Bournet, an associate editor of BookPage here at ALA, talking to Francisco X Stork, who is the author of, most recently, The Last Summer of the Death Warriors and Marcello in the Real World. And his new book, Irises, is coming out in the spring of 2012. So I'm really excited to be here talking to you today. Thank you so much. First of all, could you just tell us what Irises is about?
Well, I wanted to try my hand at writing about from the female perspective. So Irises is about two young sisters who grew up in El Paso, who are very different from each other. One of them is going to medical school, and the other one is an artist. They have different levels of faith. And their mother is in a vegetative state. So the book is about what happens with their faith as they try to decide what to do with their mother, and the different perspectives that come in, and what happens to their relationship.
Well, it seems like many of the characters in your books have got some pretty big hardships or disadvantages in their lives from dealing with Asperger's syndrome, brain cancer, being an orphan, having a parent in this state. Why do you think you're drawn to writing about teens whose lives are so hard?
It's a good question, you know. I think that it just maybe it's part of my background, how I came to this country, and the hardship that I encountered, and losing my father when I first came when I was a teenager, and so maybe that kind of stuck in me, and writing about young people surviving those type of situations is something that I find meaningful, and I find that young people have a lot of questions about their lives, and some very important questions, and hardship of different sort brings that out, you know, sort of like, what's the meaning of my life, and what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So sometimes those kind of situations are the ones that allow you to kind of explore those existential themes.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite thing about writing for teens?
I think it's putting myself in their mind, you know, and as I write, and trying to think the way that they would, trying to remember what I went through when I was doing that. I like the intensity that writing for teens or that teens' lives have, you know, in terms of like the different everything is just a little bit more intense, more focused. I mean, there are more important questions to deal with, you know, and so I enjoy kind of putting myself in their shoes.
Well, I believe that prior to being a novelist, you worked as an attorney. When did you start writing creatively, and was there anything in your work as a lawyer that is similar to what you do now?
I still do. I mean, I still work in the law, and not in a law firm, but I work for a state agency that does affordable housing. And so a lot of the experiences that I've had in law firms before this job, for example, which are very intense, and dealing with situations that are very hard, and people that are jerks and so on, are things that I bring into my books. I think that the life of the lawyer can be a little bit phony. And as a teenager, you know, one of the things that you question the most is authenticity and phoniness. So I think that's when I learned a little bit of trying to combine some of the experiences that I've had in law firms with young people.
Well, finally, we are here at ALA right now, which is all about librarians and libraries. Wondering if you could tell me about a favorite library memory, a librarian who had a big impact on you, or basically why libraries have been important in your life.
Well, I think I remember Mrs. Johnson when I was at Jesuit High School in El Paso, Texas, and I was a sophomore, and Mrs. Johnson saw me every day going there to read and different kinds of books, and so she took it upon herself to write the 100 best, most important books in the world. So she made me this list, beginning with Antigone, and going all the way to Zorba the Greek, 5 pages long. And she gave it to me and said, you know, go through these. And so by the time I finished high school, I had finished reading those books. But it was she who took the time to point me to those to what she thought were the important books, which happened to be right.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me and at BookPage Readers today, Francisco. And we will look for Irises next year.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.